says to our residents.
Okay, so listen to me, this is what you gotta do, it's just like the wax, right? We do wax every day. This is what I want you to do. I want you to write a letter to the editor. Who is the editor? What does that mean?
Governor?
Not the governor, it's like a newspaper, the editor-in-chief.
Yeah.
So listen to me, if you were in the 60s, right, and either you were for the war or you opposed the war, you're gonna write a letter to the newspaper, to the editor, and you're going to say, in 100 words approximately, little less, little more, reasons why you are defending America's presence in Vietnam or showing protest against our troops fighting all the way in Southeast Asia. So you're going to take one part of it and you're going to use textual evidence from the reading to back up and support your claim, just like we do in wax. Listen to me, I'm only giving you like 7 minutes, so you better get writing. Seven minutes, clock's ticking. If you have any questions, just raise your hand.
What are the newspapers back then, what are they called?
Well, listen, it could just be just like the Daily News. Daily News has been around 100 years.
New York Times.
New York Times, Washington Post. All right? Come on, Ferris. Pencil to paper. You can do whatever you want. Listen, there's 3 things.
Dear
One,
editor,
you gotta pick what side you're on. Either you're for it or not, because you back up the government and you believe in what they're doing to stop communism in Southeast Asia. Or 2, Southeast Asia, don't worry about it. Take care of your problems out here in the United States. I'm against the law. And just put down why. And back it up with some textual evidence if you could find anything. To say, I don't like this, because we're going to let it give some newspaper, just like you do with bikes.
dear editor.
5 more minutes.
I hate the war.
Whatever you say, she needs to work.
Fort Jackson, South Carolina.
Fort Jackson, South Carolina. You did 2 years? You were 2 years.
Matter of fact, it's very close to Paris Island.
Right. I
They
was
come to the Marines, so I had to leave to come to town.
Yeah. Remember, what we want to do is we want to write a letter to the editor, approximately 100 words there, about either defending America's presence in Vietnam or showing protest to our presence in Vietnam. Back it up with textual evidence from the reading to support your claim. If there are any quotes, make sure you put them in quotation marks. Two minutes remaining. 2 minutes, just get down your final thoughts. And we're going to share a couple of them. And then we're going to take a look at a film clip. Good, Richard? Good. Completed, Nicholas? Done? Good job. All right, gonna share?
Yeah, sure.
All right, 30 seconds, let's just finish up our last couple of points. We're going to share out, a few of you, if you'd like to volunteer, and then we're going to move forward. All right, Nicholas, why don't you share with the class what you've written? Let me just reread the writing prompt, if you will, the student assessment. Let me just grab it from first, the desk I'm on. It says here, students will write a letter to the editor, approximately 100 words, either defending America's presence in Vietnam or showing protest to our presence in Southeast Asia. Go ahead, Nicholas, speak up.
Dear Mike from the New York Times, I support America all the way and their action in Vietnam. I wouldn't like the government to tell me what to do or when I have to do it. I vote no more communism. Although this war is costing America a lot of money, it is so worth it. Sooner or later, the war will be over and we will be victorious. Although I don't support the killing of innocent people, which they might use the guerrilla tactics to kill them, but America gotta do what they have to do, and not, so no one have to endure this dictatorship.
Okay, well done. VJ. VJ, you wanna come up here, stand, we've got a camera?
Serious?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, go ahead.
When we smiling too much.
Yeah.
There's news. I oppose this war because I see it on TV every afternoon. Our boys are dying by the thousands. We can't stop communism. Let the countries battle it on their own and let them crumble by themselves. Our U.S. men and boys don't have training like the Vietnamese do. They're using guerrilla tactics, PACE 48, which means a small unit of Viet Cong fighters hit in forests and attack villages as well as military targets. To our American government, where are you getting all these funds to fund a war that we are losing? Millions of our men are dying. Look at the anti-war protests all over this country. Moms receiving their sons in box, more dying. I oppose this war because too many are dying and let our countries fight on their own.
Very good. I like the way you put it.
Sincerely, anti-war protester.
All right, sounds good.
FBI, ACUs.
Would anybody else like to share? Are you sure? It was good. Angelita,
Did you?
you'll pass. Richard, speak up.
Due to my beliefs, I oppose and protest to the troops' presence in the Vietnam War. During this war, the United States lost a lot of money and many soldiers. Page 48. The American forces struggled to fight effectively in South Vietnam, which led to a lot of deaths and innocent people killed. Even though we are allies with France, more and more of our soldiers are fleeing out into the northeast part of Asia. I say we should back out and back out now before we lose half of the men we sent out to war. I think we can find another way to stop the spread of communism North Europe.
Okay. Listen, very good. Listen, you guys are great. That's why I enjoy being your teacher. Now,
The VJ said, actually communism did crumble by itself.
eventually, it died out, because the people didn't want it anymore, because the government, the people were starving. They would go into the stores and the supermarkets, and there'd be no foods on the shelves. People were sick of it, especially in the Soviet Union. So now they have a more democratic kind of approach to government, all right?
And there's two wars that America couldn't get the job done. We just had to leave. Vietnam,
This one? And this
right,
other one.
and Korea. We said, try again some other day.
And Korea was like in the 1950s, all right? All right, now, one other thing, and then the homework assignment. But I want you to take a look at this. We're going to take a short viewing of a film clip of Khe Sanh. All right, it's the bloodiest battle of the Vietnam War. All right, so Mr. Wakefield, my technology expert.
You don't say any blood, but you see, you can see the napalm.
No.
The napalm.
But listen, if you are uneasy or if you don't want to view this, you don't have to, because there is going to be some
War activity.
right.
Parental guidance if needed.
All right, listen, worst comes to worst, close your eyes. All right, Mr. Wakefield, if you would. We're almost done, by another 4 minutes.
Yo, lower it.
Too loud.
Mankind stands almost exactly midway between the sea and the land.
You put a little louder.
Of the demilitarized zone.
Make it bigger.
From this commanding central position known as Artillery Hill, the American Army's 175s, which have a range of 20 miles, can pick off any target in the whole DMZ area, as well as shooting deep toward Vietnam. But the main mission of the 16 175s is to lay down a protective screen of fire around Khe Sanh, where the Americans have been expecting a major attack for weeks now. In the past 15 months, these super long toms, the longest range guns in the American arsenal, have fired 150,000 rounds, most of them into the hills round Khe Sanh. Soon after we reached Camp Carroll, North Vietnamese troops launched a daytime assault on the Khe Sanh perimeter. Within minutes, the 175s were in action. The barrels of the 175s have to be changed after firing 300 rounds. Each barrel costs $14,000, or the price of a new Ferrari, as one lieutenant said.
Think about it, $14,000
The
for a
big guns were
Ferrari back
controlled
then.
from a nearby underground
Get
bunker,
behind
the
the scenes.
FDC Fire Direction Center. 2 computers are used, one in the battalion FDC, another in the battery FDC, to avoid mistakes in hitting the target. This is vital when the 175s are firing, as they do, only 400 yards at times from the American positions around Khe Sanh. Immediately after the 175s had fired, Camp Carroll itself came under rocket and artillery fire from North Vietnamese positions. About 60 rounds landed in the camp, wounding 12 men. The target, of course, were the 175s. Colonel William Dick commands the 4,000 Marines based on Camp Carroll. One of their main jobs is to defend the 175s.
Okay, and now, one more thing. War is hell. You remember we had a vocabulary word, napalm? What is napalm?
Napalm is a sticky jelly-like substance that is used in bombs and flamethrowers.
And this is how they would give it to the people. They drop it, just drop it right on them.
The Americans?
Yes, and do what they have to do. Drop it right on. Give it to them like that.
Listen, that's wiping out whole villages.
Men, women, children. War is hell. There we go. Burnt up.
I know that burning.
Napalm.
Man, you can burn that.
Mr. Wakefield, how long is this?
Should be over. It's a minute.
But you can see the devastation that went on during that war.
Make love, not war.
All right, and finally, are there any questions pertaining to today's lesson that you wrote down? Any questions or anything that you need clarification on?
No.
All right,
Yeah, but I have that one question though about that island. You know what island I'm talking about?
I really don't know.
This, like, people used to live on the island, but then they abandoned it for some time.
Well, the only thing that I know that in Australia, it used to be a penal colony. So I believe it was France who controlled that part of the land at the time. They would send prisoners there.
No, it's
On an island.
I was watching this show.
Do you know anything else about that?
It's somewhere in
Get
the
the
United
information and bring it back.
Look it up, bring it up, look it up so that we can all, learn from it. But listen, this is your homework assignment.
Okay.
And- Homework assignment. All right, so listen, this is what I want you to do, because believe it or not, in Washington DC, there's a wall memorial of all the soldiers that were killed in Vietnam. Okay, so what I want you to do is, I want you to go on the internet. I want you to gather information to describe the Vietnam War Memorial, where it's located, why is it there, and what does it symbolize, all right? And then you can bring that in. Oh, and finally, I'm just gonna share this comic strip with you. because I found it somewhat amusing, and I thought that you may get somewhat of a chuckle out of it. So, let's take a look. Yeah,
Lieutenant Cross.
Lieutenant Cross, that's right. So now, if you remember, and this is the segue I'm trying to make, we did the things that they carry with Lieutenant Cross. So here he is, he's a soldier in Vietnam, he's sighing, his girlfriend, who is Vietnamese, is kind of trying to catch some Z's and take a little nap. So he says, sleep on, Charlie. Now you gotta understand, the American troops called the North Vietnamese Charlie. Okay, so it says, sleep on, Charlie. You may be lost, but at least you're in the right country. Me, I'm thousands of miles from home. Hungry, tired, disgraced, and humiliated. How could things possibly get any worse for me? And then the last thing, his girlfriend back in the States is writing him a Dear John letter. Because that's how it could get worse. She broke up with him.
Oh, man.
All right, listen to me. You guys were great, as usual. I hope that camera is still recording. But thank you very much. Give yourselves a round of applause. Yeah, that's the way we roll.
No, wait a minute. You step into the camera.